People go about their lives thinking theirs are worthless. But this never happens to you when you're Mr. Perfect. The days are without catastrophe, nothing's ever muddled. Avoiding birdcack, Uncle Jack, and puddles. He was born into wealth and thus raised in a palace, wandering the halls with a mind full of malice. Things are all perfect, but as a man, he is not. He's cruel, evil, twisted, and wrong. No compassion ever shown for his gardeners nor maids, not a second thought in trusting the fates. He'd eat and he'd drink and sometimes he'd choke, but the luck would kick in and he'd spit out the bone. How is he lucky? A man so despicable, who stays bone dry when the weather is miserable, whose behaviour is loathsomely criminal, and whose sleeping quarters are chillingly minimal. He sits alone and he ponders, but not of his luck, for to this he is blind and ever corrupt. He thinks of his life and feels determined to live how he lives, free and unburdened. It always goes well for him, always tip-top. Even in the summer his ice cream won't drop. Even hours later, as time's run the clock, he returns to his bath, surprised it's still hot. Lucky as he was, Mr. Perfect knew it, and this complacency is what makes this Mr. Foolish. Trusting of the fates, he went about his days, blind to see the irony in his very name. Waking up one morning, all seemed to be the same. Mr. Perfect waking up for another perfect day. But today was something different. But what, we do not know. Mr. Perfect woke up and stubbed his perfect toe. How unusual it was for something to go wrong. Mr. Perfect brushed it off and said, only once. But wrong came again, and this he couldn't stand, feeling like an idiot in his black sodden pants. Furious as he was, he screamed and cursed the skies. How can this happen? Things are perfect all the time. He scurried and hurried and he hid in his room, lying in solitude in line with the moon. If today was imperfect, will tomorrow be too? Only time will tell if tomorrow is blue. Perhaps the wind changed, but he wondered what for. Things were not perfect, not anymore. He crept past the servants and bid them good day. He thought perhaps now, time to change his bad ways. He saw Uncle Jack and moved out of the way. Then came birdcack, thunder and rain, misery, misery. He wandered the streets, beat and defeat, hands in his pockets, eyes at his feet. He then saw a locket. My, what a treat. Lucky, you'd say. Perfect, it seems. It was back again. The luck, he was sure. Who finds a locket lying around on the floor? He danced and he jumped and even a skip. Unfortunate for him, lightning hit. Mr. Perfect struck to a pile of dust, the locket lying still cold and untouched. There's a story here for all the unwise, that life can change before your eyes. Don't take it for granted, and love what you have, your sister, your brother, your mother, your dad. The fates aren't ours of which we can't work, no matter how we try to work it. But if we try to open our eyes, our days are already perfect.